What's going on, y'all? Polo Sports Talk and Entertainment here again with another one. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not a member, and also hit the notifications so that you're able to get all of my content and all of my videos. Top of the morning again. Appreciate everybody pulling up to the previous live as we were talking about Keith one-time Thurman with his victory, but now we're gonna flip the script and talk some NBA. You know me, man. I love being all over the place. That's how it is. So, with that being said, I want to talk about Victor Oladipo. Now, I happen to like Victor Oladipo very much. Um, you know, according to sources, they have said that Victor Oladipo is working out several times a day, and he's trying to come back from last May surgery on his right quadricep tendon. This is according to Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald. Now, Oladipo just started participating in two-on-two sessions with teammates um, after shooting rounds, and he's been shooting extensively uh, before and after games. Now, Victor Oladipo, man, has kind of had a roller coaster career. Um, it hasn't been that it's not to take anything away from his talent, because when Victor Oladipo came in, believe it or not, there were some people that were comparing. He was drawing comparison when he first came in, and I know some people are gonna trip out. In college, they said that Victor Oladipo kind of reminded them of a young Michael Jordan. I know that sounds crazy, but they were actually saying that. Now, did I see that? Nah, I saw him more like a D Wade type of player. But if you look at the way that D Wade used to play the game, then of course you'll see that when Michael Jordan had first came into the league, I'm talking about a young Michael Jordan. There's a lot of similarities there to the way that D Wade played, and that's why D Wade is one of my all-time favorite players. Even though the little off the court stuff, you know what I'm saying, I don't necessarily agree with and stuff like that. But as a player, love what he brought to the table. Now, as I didn't mean to digress, but when he first came in, all right, Victor Oladipo was durable, especially when he came in to Orlando. He played 80 games his first year, right? And you saw the potential. You saw it was there. He was averaging um in terms of his production and being there. He was averaging 13, 17, and 16, and then went to OKC. You know, uh, playing with Westbrook. You know, production dropped a little bit, and then he also missed some games too as well. Went down to 67. But then when he went to Indiana in that first year, right? That's when he broke out. He had his breakout season, and it kind of broke out of his shell. Um, where he was averaging 23 a game. If Victor Oladipo was that guy, man, you know what I'm saying? He was box office. I mean, let's just call it what it is. He was a highlight. You know what I'm saying? And then it went downhill from there after 2017. And it's just been injury. This is happening to his body. That's happening to his body. Okay, look, let's break it down, right? Started off playing 80, 72, 72, 67, 75. Over the course of the last 5 seasons, I mean, including this season, right? He only played 36 games, 19 games, 9 games, 20 games while he was in Houston, and only, of course, 4 games with Miami, and that was in 2020, right? He hasn't played in nearly 2 years. You understand what I'm saying? You see, we have to understand that, like I just said in the previous stream, that basketball and football, boxing, everything, it's all about rhythm. Are you going to stay on the floor this time, though? You know, I look at players, man. I look at players, whether it's basketball, football, any sport, that's played. Yeah, the talent, you know what I'm saying? That's one thing. Yeah, that's that's all fine and dandy. That's all good and gravy, right? But what separates a lot of players, man, is their durability. Their ability to stay on the floor. Their ability their ability to keep their health intact. What's up with it, Jelly Bean? 40 4280. I see you in the building. You know, Victor Oladipo, man, had the potential, and I don't care what nobody says, to actually go down as one of the greats to play the game if he'd have kept it up. But his problem has been health. His problem has been health. He can't stay on the floor, and now he's possibly going to go down as coulda, woulda, shoulda been, possibly. And I don't want that to happen because I happen to like Victor Oladipo. I felt like he went through the rigors his first couple seasons of being in the NBA. Having to go through the ups and downs, the trials and tribulations, just like some NBA players have to go through. Some NBA players are blessed not to go through that. Like a LeBron, coming right in because of various things having to do with talent, things of that nature, and being at the right place in the right time, and a little bit of luck and a good team around you. But with Victor Oladipo, he because he's a hard worker. I've seen him. I watched Victor Oladipo, and that takes it back to what I always say. I pay attention to these guys before they even hit college, before they even hit the NBA, just to see, okay, man, what was this guy doing? I give you a prime example. Derrick Rose, right? Derrick Rose, man, he was he was unbelievable. A lot of people compare. You see John Morant last night, where he took off from and stuff like that. That's why a lot of people. That's why the brother Sterling Young kind of compared his play to a young Derrick Rose and stuff. I saw more AI, but when you talk about explosiveness, and how explosiveness is. And it's like, damn, I can't believe that he had the audacity to jump from where he jumping from type of ability. Then you'll be like a Derrick Rose, because Derrick Rose would kind of do the same thing, you know. But I'm not overall game, no. But in terms of his explosiveness and his athleticism, yeah, it's up there with Rose, because Rose was hella athletic, freakish athletic too as well. But anyways, I look at a guy like Derrick Rose, and I looked at his capabilities, and I was going back and I was looking. It, in order for you to play for a high school like Simeon, because I happen to know uh three guys in particular. One of my uncles, he actually grew up in the South Side of Chicago, and he was always talking about Simeon. And then of course we had a friend of the family that was he happened to play for Simeon. In order for you to play for a high school like Simeon, you have to be, of course, gifted. You have to have, ability. Of course, durability, what I also talked about. But more importantly, you have to possess the mindset to outwork every single body and work uh, 50 times harder than that next man. And they're training their athletes for the pros. It's a school. They're prepping their talent for the pros. And so, like, I say that because when I looked at Derrick Rose and him working out and some of his workouts that he was doing and stuff like that, it was unbelievable. A lot of you guys probably wouldn't even be able to last 5 minutes of doing the stuff that they were doing. Even when I was watching License to Lilliard with Dame Lilliard when he was getting ready for pre draft camp, you know. But I look at those guys and how hard that they work and stuff. And it's like when they get to the NBA, some of them, I'm not saying that Victor Oladipo forgot about that, but some guys forget that type of brutal work ethic that they used to put in when they before they even hit the pros or even hit in college, because in college it's like you have more pressure in line with what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have your coaches on your ass. You got the pressure of academically, stuff like that. If you don't do this, you know what I'm saying, then there's consequences and repercussions, all this other stuff, unless you're doing stuff under the table. And it's the same thing with high school. If you don't do this and you don't do that, then guess what? There's consequences and repercussion to what you ultimately might uh, end up succumbing to. But a lot of players, man, they tend to forget, what that work ethic they truly possess. Some players still stay with that work ethic. It's just the fact that they can't really stay healthy. Part of staying healthy though is making sure that you monitor your body correctly, and that you doing what's necessary. Like, I was looking when I was talking about Baron Davis. You know, one of the things that set Baron Davis back was his health and injuries, things of that nature. And as great as a player that he was, for a while, he just never could quite live up to what people had expected him, the expectations that people had placed on him, because it had to do with health eventually. And I don't want that to happen to Victor Oladipo. Does he have a lot of basketball left in the tank? Yeah. Am I ready to give up on a guy like Victor Oladipo? Nah, not at all. But he's approaching the age of 30. He's approaching the age of 30. And after 30, you're not seen as a spring chicken anymore. You're not a spring chicken anymore. And as a guard in the NBA, as a guard and as a wing in the NBA, you're ancient once you hit the age of 30. Especially when you got 22 year old, 23, 24, 25, 26 years old running up and down and flying up and down the court. Man, you must be crazy. You must be crazy. And I want him to ultimately come back and be a success story. Even if it's just him just being productive. You know what I'm saying? And score his points that he was in the beginning of his career, because he had only one season so far in which he put up um 20 points a game, believe it or not. And that was in Indiana. I'm not going to count of course Houston and and that year, that part of that year he was in Indiana. He put up 20 and 21 and stuff, but that wasn't a full season. I'm talking about a full season, which he played more more than 36 games, more than 19 games, more than 9 games, more than 4 games. That's what I'm judging it based upon. And there's many people that probably don't want to see Victor Oladipo out there. Is he kind of cocky? Yeah, of course he was. But he possessed that confidence. There was a lot of people that was comparing him to, like I said, MJ. You go back and go look at some of those games in Indiana. There was some, and I was even like, man, get the fuck out of here. That's what I was telling them. When the announcers say that. But when you got somebody new that you haven't seen before, that catches your eye, that's explosive or something like that, the first thing that people want to try to do is make those comparisons. Sure, I mean, I'm guilty of it. I was doing the thing with Ja Morant, but that's because Ja Morant is doing some unbelievable things right now. Doing some unbelievable things, man. And taking a jump from a leapfrog from his first to his second year. Even Anthony Edwards. Nobody's talking about Anthony Edwards. The jump that he made. When he first came in, his first and foremost, when it came to Anthony Edwards, his attitude, what people didn't like. I remember I was talking about it, and I told Ticket, and I told some of the fellas. I said, "You said Ant made a huge leap." Yeah, absolutely. He's improved. He's improved his shot a little bit. The game is starting to slow down a little bit for him. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. He questioned if he was like, look, I don't want to play basketball, stuff like that. I was disappointed in him when he had said that. You know, but listen, the guy got hit with adversity. Losing loved one and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That could be hard for some guys to fathom. But that loved one wanted you to make it. You wanted you to make it. I saw his yeah, his handle got better. He was more of an open court type of player anyways, coming out of Georgia, you know. Yeah, don't get it twisted, Jelly Bean. I know sometimes you're like, oh, we're gonna talk about the old guys and nothing. Nah, I talk about these young motherfuckers too. I talk about high school. I talk about college. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, man, what we need to be talking about, Jelly Bean, is we need to be talking about them HBCUs. Yesterday, I was looking at that, the girls and the boys. My goodness, man. There's this guy that was that played yesterday. I saw from Florida. Guy is nice. All of them guys was athletic yesterday in that HBCU game. And I don't know if you had a chance to ever Jelly Bean to ever go to a HBCU game, whether it's football or basketball, man. It's it's something else, man. People always talk about, these NBA games and stuff like that, man. It ain't nothing like a black college game, man. Especially when it's a rival, man. It's one of the greatest feelings in the world. If my baby comes to me, both my kids, they come to me and they say, "Daddy, I want to go to college." I would prefer them to go to a HBCU, but whatever choice that they make, that's on them. And look, I'm with diversity as well. Take a look at Blake Wesley. He a freshman on Notre Dame. He going to the league. He from my area. Yeah, Blake Wesley. Okay, I'll pay attention to him. I was looking at Kentucky and Alabama though. Um, I was looking at that game. Um, I was looking at that game. Uh, like I said, I was paying attention to the HBCUs. I tried to go to Tennessee State. Didn't get in. Why didn't you get in, Jelly Bean? You still young enough too, man. I mean you could still go for your degree. Okay, you watch Auburn and Georgia. Yeah, Tennessee State, man. That's a great school, man. Why you didn't get in? And then plus you serve now. Hey, look, and you still serving. You could go and take college or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then I don't know how serious you are in the military about it, but be an officer, you know what I'm saying? I know I got a couple guys that became officers. A guy I grew up with, and this motherfucker used to get teased all the time, Jelly Bean. He used to get teased all the time. They made fun of this guy, talked about him and everything. You said my grades at the time wasn't the best. So I went D3 to play football before my mom had it. Oh, sorry, man. Oh shit. Okay, I'm sorry to hear that, bro. Yeah, I know. Hey, well, at least you went. Look, that a lot of people they say like, oh well, I got to go to this school. I got to go to that school. That's not necessarily true. You gotta man up, and that's what you did. A lot of people, man. Look, when you when whatever decision that you make, you just gotta roll with those punches. And what I tell a lot of people is that, the military is not for everybody. College ain't for everybody. Um, opening a business ain't for everybody. Working a 9 to 5 ain't for everybody. But you have to choose whatever avenue makes you feel comfortable. But what I'm saying, you're gonna also have to do some things that you really don't want to do. And in a case like you, Jelly Bean, you did some things that you said, okay, look, situation with your moms and all that stuff. Like you said, you had to pipe down, get focused. I know motherfuckers that really did not want to go in the military, but they went ahead and they went, you know what I'm saying? Because it was just like, okay, I'm not doing shit right here. People are going to jail, people are, you know, dying, whatever the case is, you know what I'm saying? And they didn't want to be no statistic. Believe it or not, man, like if you a lot of guys that, might go to the NBA or might want to run track or might want to be a great athlete, football, whatever. And then also you have guys that want to go, that are wanting to maybe do something like, go to the military or something like that. Some of those guys might have been poverty stricken and might have been in an area where they were pulled in. A lot of them may in too deep. Some guys are in real deep, like, being affiliated, you know what I'm saying, or, trapping or whatever. But they still have aspirations of doing something productive. You know what I'm saying? Because of whatever goal that they might have. Some guys just want to get in and do something because success is what opens up the wop. You know what I'm saying? That's what gets you the cookies. And as a man, particularly, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of guys. If you anywhere from 18 to shoot, I say 30. I was about to say 25, 18 to 30 or whatever, and you single, man, your whole goal is to get the money, be successful, and be with lots of beautiful women that you can. Okay, all right. You played DN and outside linebacker. Okay, all right. Yeah, I'll check it out, bro. I'll check it out. But you know, listen, whatever avenue that you choose, that's just pretty much what you got to roll with. And listen, I don't never, that's just what I was saying a little while ago in another stream, Jelly Bean Man, is you might have a guy that's working at a restaurant. He might be a short order cook or whatever, or he might be, working fast food or whatnot. But you don't know that guy's situation, like what you were just telling me just a few minutes ago. Some guys are experiencing that, and they're the only muscle in their household. Some guys' parents can't work, and unfortunately, they got to work because they got to take care of their mom or take care of their grandparents or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But see, while you sitting there, he high and laughing at that guy who's at the counter of McDonald's or at Walmart or something like that, you don't know that that guy has got a goal and he got a talent to go ahead and get up out of there. Or you might be laughing at a guy who's older, still trying to, he might be well into his 40s, but he still got aspirations to do this or that, not realizing that he put off some things to take care of it later on. So some of y'all don't look at it like that. But see, to get back to Victor Oladipo, health has been the detriment for him. and health is a detriment to a lot of other guys, and that's what sets them back. A lot of guys aren't driven. You know what I'm saying? Like if if you around me, you'll probably my my type of driven and my type of passion and my type of acceleration and my type of uh manhunt mentality. You know what I'm saying? My type of determination. Guys aren't really ready for it. They're like, oh nah, something like that. Well, um, that's one of the beauties of not giving a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not around me, or you don't want to be around me, or you don't want to do the stuff that I'm doing, or whatever, uh, I find a very, very attractive not giving a fuck mentality, and that's what you have to have. You can't give a fuck if people don't want to do the things that you want to do. You can't give a fuck if people don't have the same aspirations as you. You can't give a fuck if people they turn their backs on you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the type of mentality that you have. And then the ones that turn their back on you, you know, they the ones that's gonna be hating on you, or trying to pull you down, or trying to destroy you, or whatever. But the beauty of that is that you sleep good at night knowing that they couldn't do it, and they're doing everything possible to do that for you. Like, look at Victor Oladipo, right? They're probably focused. There's probably some people focused on him wanting him not making it. It's like they want him to stay hurt or stay injured. You know what I'm saying? Because a person feels like, oh well, you owe me something, or you didn't do this for me back in the days, or you didn't do that for me back in the days. Now they laughing at him because he can't get on the floor, or he can't play, or he's not quite working out in the NBA or something like that. No, it happens like that. It happens like that. You know, I don't believe in shortchanging anybody. And a lot of these NBA players, they shortchange a lot of people. It- it- It's like LeBron coming back yesterday. Now, whether LeBron was doing it for, to get back so he could play in the All-Star game, um, whether he didn't want to see he didn't want to see his team fall down anymore, or whatever the case is, he still worked to get back. And some people, were questioning if his knee was really hurt and all this other stuff. But the thing about it is he still came back, and he still showed up or whatever. But my point to that is saying that, we need people to be like that 100% of the time. Don't shortchange people. I'm not gonna shortchange people. That's why Victor Oladipo, he's probably hearing like, man, are you gonna stay hurt all the time? Are you gonna get back on the floor? People probably in his ear saying, "Oh, you're never gonna get back to what you used to be. All you doing is gonna sit up here and be hurt and sit on the games and stuff like that." He probably hears that shit all day. Hell, I hear it. I remember one time, man. This was. I'll give an example when I'm on YouTube, and I'll give an example outside of YouTube. When I'm on YouTube, you'll hear I say, hey, you know, pull up to the channel or something like that, right? And be like, man, you only got this, you're not doing this with your channel, da da da, and all this other stuff. and they'll make some sort of excuse and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, okay, and just soak that shit in like a sponge. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, look, it's people's choice whether or not they wanna fuck with you or not. And outside of here, you know what I'm saying, there's some people that, you might be like, okay, hey, you want to build on this, you want to do something like that, and they'll tell you no. And then when they see you progressing by yourself, and see you progressing without anybody's help, and being the fact that you were able to do it dolo or whatever, guess what they want to do? They don't want to join you. They want to try to destroy you. You know what I'm saying? They try to do everything that they can because they know that they thought that you didn't have that type of capability. You know what I'm saying? And I believe in not shortchanging people, because if you shortchange people, you shortchange yourself. If you shortchange people, you shortchanging yourself. You know, and a lot of them NBA players, they shortchange people and not realizing they shortchanging themselves. For Victor Oladipo, I'm hoping that he gets back, but I want him to stay there. That's just like with DeMarcus Cousins. Now that he's back, got to give him an opportunity to stay there. You know what I'm saying? No, you have to stay there. Now that he's healthy or whatever, he's doing everything that he can to stay there. Sean Livingston, um, you know, he hurt himself, had all the potential in the world. You know, when he had that devastating injury or whatever, you know, went through his little ups and downs. Think with he was with Brooklyn sometime or whatever, and then he found a home in Golden State. And guess what? He was productive, and he was an important piece to them Golden State championship. So I just look at it from a standpoint of Victor Oladipo coming back, staying there, doing what's necessary for him to stay on the floor. And that's what people are going to question. It's just like, okay, you have guys that are perfectly healthy. It's just like, okay, James Harden, right? Now he's staying in Brooklyn or whatever. And a lot of people felt that he had one foot in and one foot out in terms of him going to, trying to come over there to my squad, come to Philly and everything. But why are you going to do that when you actually have it better over there in Brooklyn? And I think he sees that. Now that, KD say he wants him to stay and everything like that. He sees that. But 9 times out of 10, a lot of teams really don't. They'll take James Harden, but they kind of see the attitude that he possesses. If if I'm a guy in the front office and I have a choice to choose a guy that's super durable, right? He's super durable, but his attitude is terrible. I would rather take the guy who is working hard to come back, doing everything that he can. He's not a cancer to the team, just got a few minor injuries that we could take care of and everything. At least I know that his attitude when he gets healthy will be productive. The only problem with that is you taking a risk, because that guy could ultimately get hurt again, and then it's like, damn, we invested our money into this guy and everything. But at the same token, if you get a guy like a James Harden or whatever, you're gonna have to deal with the egos, with him being a diva, or him being cancer to the team, just like Ben Simmons, and you're gonna want to move forward. But durability is very very important. It's very important. Y'all hit the like as you come on in. What's up with it, Matt Moses? I see you in the building. Make sure y'all go subscribe to the homie Matt Cook and Smoke Sports. But durability is extremely important. You know, y- you know, people in the front office, they want guys that can stay on the floor. You know, they want guys that that are talented, of course. But me, like it's just like when I talk about a guy like Jared Allen. You know, Jared Allen, man, he has what you call old school mentality. That's why like guys in the LDBC, they like a guy like Jared Allen. Okay, you didn't select him for the All Star. That's all right. At least we got one of the homies that's there, and Darius Garland. He's going to represent there. But everybody knows that Jared Allen should have been an All Star for the fact that everywhere that he goes, he turns things around. Uh, he can see Jared Allen can single-handedly change a game without playing a lot of offense. He changes so much in terms of defense. But see, y'all don't like that. Y'all don't like that style. Cleveland is not here to be pretty, right? They're not here to look all fancy, and they're not, and it's not a popularity contest. But see, that's what that's what you're getting when you look at a team like the Lakers. It's all everybody paying attention. Oh yeah, I love the Lakers. I love the Lakers. I love the Lakers. Meanwhile, you have all these other teams that are winning. It's a popularity contest. I want to look good. I want to make sure I got my best haircut if I do have any hair on my head. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that what I'm saying, this person sees me. I want to make sure that my name is all good, and nah. Cleveland don't care about that. Miami don't care about that. Miami don't care about that. They rarely talk about Miami. They rarely talk about, they barely talk about Chicago. Barely talk about, my squad, Philly. I mean, they talk about Embiid, but me personally, I don't want, shoot, leave me up under the radar. A lot of these teams that everybody's talking about, they barely talk about Phoenix. And I know, they had what's it called? It snapped the winning streak or whatever in Atlanta, but still, I mean, 11 games, nigga, that's a streak. And I was talking about Toronto the other day, but you got to give them credit. You know what I'm saying? Because Toronto's on it. Man, these teams are not trying to go out there for no damn popularity contest. They want to win. They want to win. Giannis don't care about no damn popularity contest, man. He's out there to win. I know, the Bucks have, they've had their struggles here and there, but Giannis is still playing hard, still giving the effort every single night. But that's what the people want to see in this social media darling era. They would rather see a guy on TikTok. They would rather see a guy on IG. They would rather see a guy, you know, hitting shots, like a Ben Simmons, and celebrating him. And that, well, nah, do that on the floor. Do that on the floor. Don't be a cancer. Don't be a cancer to the squad. But see, that's what y'all want. Y'all want to see in-house drama and stuff like that. Nah, let's just get back to playing basketball. This isn't no popularity contest. And Victor Oladipo, he was on his way to do that. He was on his way to do that. I truly feel that he's going to get back on the floor. He might end up playing now. To say that he's going to be successful in terms of the playoffs and everything, I don't. It, to me, it wouldn't be wise for him to jump right back into the playoffs. That's just like with Kawhi Leonard's case. I'm glad Kawhi Leonard is not coming back. I guess people think that I have something against the Clippers and Kawhi and all this other stuff. No, I don't. Matter of fact, I like Kawhi, and I want him to get back on the floor, and I want him to stay on there consistently. I don't like. You think I like him sitting down and low managing and stuff like that? No, because I know what type of player that he is when he's fully healthy. But because of his condition, he he'll never be able to do that, especially when you talk about degenerative knees. It's not going to happen. And you trying to come back and trying to jump back in when all these guys are warmed up. These guys are you know past mid-season form. Shit, you'd be crazy to do that. Then you're gonna wind up hurting yourself again. With Clay, I know Clay is starting to come. He's starting to come along. He's starting to get his groove going and stuff like that. But I didn't like the fact that they were rushing him. Kind of rushing him to kind of get back to what it was. I think they're seeing that there's no timetable for Draymond Green, but they got enough weapons to win. I mean, you got a guy, Andrew Wiggins, that pretty much is, he's coming out there. He's giving you defense. He's giving you offense. And people complaining about him being an all-star and all this other stuff. People hating on Jordan Poole and stuff like that. Man, Jordan Poole is he's a joy to have, both on offense and on defense. They got a lot of weapons. You know what I'm saying? And they're on the winning streak right now without Draymond. You know what I'm saying? Without Draymond. But that just goes to show you that they always find another. That's what it's about. Is finding another route. You know what I'm saying? Maneuvering. And a lot of these players, they don't know how to maneuver. A lot of these players, they don't know how to adjust their game. That's one of the problems that Russell Westbrook has had. He's getting a little better at it, but he got benched. You know, I love Russell Westbrook, and while he's doing his best to cut down on the turnovers and stuff like that, um, people still are gonna hold you to expectations, especially when they talk about you being one of the 75 greatest players to ever play the game. They're always going to bring that up. They're always going to question, okay, your intellect as a point guard. They're always going to question, you having tunnel vision. They're always going to question things about you, especially more so when you're out in as a Los Angeles Laker. Everything is surveyed to the max when you're out in LA, because it's just a different type of standard that you're out there. It's even with LeBron. Everything is going to be paid attention to more. The media is going to jump all on it. Me myself personally, I know people get mad at me because I don't sit here and talk about Lakers all day. Lakers. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna talk about everybody else. Me myself personally, I'm not a repetitive person. I like talking about different things, you know, and that's why I'm talking about this brother right here, and Victor Oladipo. You know, he's about to be 29 years old, about to hit the age of 30, trying to step. He's back on the floor, but we got to see if he stays there. This might be his last chance, because it's like, dang, okay, he he used to do this, he used to do that, he used to do these things. Now, what is he doing now? Like they say, what have you done for me lately? Not trying to use that statement all the time. It's like, what have you done for me lately? And that's the mentality that you have to have. Y- You know, the brother Jacob Jennings, shout out to Jacob Jennings. He always puts it perfectly. Update your resume. That's in life. That's in everything that you do. You gotta update your resume. What have you done to improve lately? Are you cleaning things up on the back end to make on are you putting things on the back burner? Are you procrastinating? But no need to get philosophical. It's just it's a fact. What have you done for them lately? People forgot. Let's just be honest. Some people have forgot about Victor Oladipo. Some people have forgot about him. Some people forgot, like about Greg Monroe, who I talked about yesterday. Some people forgot about Greg Monroe. I didn't forget about him. Do I think that he'll be what he used to be? I mean, that remains to be seen. Some of y'all don't even know who Greg Monroe is. But see, I blame that on a lot of the media for just focusing on just one player. A lot of y'all don't know any of these players that are getting ready to come out of college. A lot of y'all don't know any of these players unless you probably are young enough to say, okay, yeah, that's I seen him play in high school, or I went to school with him, or I'm related to that person. Other than that, you don't know any of these guys coming out of college. But see, back in the days, you anticipated some of these guys coming out of college, and you were like, oh man, he finna be something. You anticipated this guy coming out of high school. Oh yeah, wanted to watch the Jordan Classic, or the McDonald's All American, or whatever state that you're in, high school all star game, or the UIL game, or something like that. You anticipated that, but now it's like just one person in the NBA, or maybe a couple people in the NBA. Nah, that there's other guys that are coming out there that are really trying to do that. Like with Wiseman, I hope that James Wiseman, man, comes back and just hits the ground running, so that y'all can see what type of potential that this guy could live up to, barring health. And I'm just talking about injuries per se. I'm hoping, everybody that doubted him, because you got people out here that doubted James Wiseman, saying this and saying that, won't be able to do this and won't be able to do that. I didn't I didn't put that on James Wiseman. It's just health issues. And and see, when a guy works back to get to where the level that he once used to be, like after a devastating injury, like Grant Hill, or Penny Hardaway, who was trying his best and everything like that. You got to give those guys credit. Even with LaMarcus Aldridge situation, I didn't want him to play, because that was more of an internal thing that had to do with his heart and stuff, and it's risky when we talk about life or death. But the fact that he's still out there playing, I already mentioned Gerald Green, not Gerald Green. I'm sorry, Jeff Green. I had already mentioned Jeff Green, But Gerald Green is making a comeback too, coming back for the G League. These guys love the game. They're passionate about the game. Even Mike Beasley. A lot of people don't know that Mike Beasley he had some issues off the floor. That went on. In terms of his family and stuff like that. And Mike Beasley had his fair share of criticism. People talking about the weed thing and all this other stuff. But I mean, if you're just gonna judge him based on that, you know what I'm saying, then you might as well judge a lot of the niggas in the NBA, NFL, and other sports as well, because he's not the only one that's out there getting high or whatever. But I'm just happy that he's making the effort just to come back, because you got to finish what you start. That's just with James Harden. I wanted him. I wanted James Harden to finish what he started. If you're gonna be in Houston, you know what I'm saying, stay there. I understand that you want to win a championship and stuff like that. But I think that people will respect you more if you get the surrounding pieces and you play within the system. May take a year or two or whatever, but people will respect you more. That's just like with KD's championship, right? A lot of people, they don't respect KD's championship. Do I respect it? I respect the fact that he went out there, because you still got to go out there and you still got to execute. But see, if they'd have lost, people would be criticizing him even more. But I think people see KD's championship as not not quite the same as if Giannis, what Giannis did, because Giannis stayed where he was. You know what I'm saying? And look, and people don't even respect Giannis's championship, because they feel like Giannis, he, was in luck played in his favor pretty much. And that's not the case. You still got to go out there and you still got to execute. What if he would have lost? Then we'd be having a totally different argument. You wouldn't even be talking about Giannis, like, much less than what they do now. You'd be like, well, you made it to the finals, but he couldn't get it done. It's the same. The same thing with Chris Paul. And we love, they still respect Chris Paul and everything like that, but they still criticize Chris Paul. Oh, he made it to the finals, but he couldn't get it done. That was his first time ever making it to the finals. He's done this, he's done that, but always came up short. But see, if he win, guess what? Then they'll be like, well, he only got one championship on his resume or something like that. They'll say some silly shit like that. So it's like they're trying to do everything that they can to um, win both sides of the argument. But I really don't see it that way. James Harden, he stayed where he's at. He stayed put in Brooklyn. Y'all put the thing together. Now it's left up to you and KD, and as well as Kyrie, to go ahead and get things done. And of course, I'm talking about essentially when KD gets back and in full health. But that's what a lot of people they wanna see, man. They wanna see these guys live up to those expectations that they have placed upon them. And now I was talking about something yesterday with a couple people, and it has to do with legacy. Now, this was my thing right here. If KD does not get it done this year, it's going to be a hit on his legacy. Look, I understand that he's been hurt, but he's been out there and he's played. He's gotten things done, in terms of, scoring and stuff like that. But at the same token, people are going to judge you because, okay, you've been there now going on, it'll be 3 years, and people are still going to be like, okay, well, what have you done? It's been a complete failure. And people might make the excuse, well, Kyrie wasn't there and stuff like that. Okay, well, yeah, we know that, but you're still a superstar. Minus one superstar, okay, that's enough to get it done. You have two. Okay, okay, minus two superstars, you have yourself with you know a lot of decent role players. People still don't want to hear no excuses. Giannis was able to do it. You know what I'm saying? Look, whether you're placed in a situation that, okay, let's say, like for instance, when the Lakers with Phoenix or whatever and stuff like that. What if Phoenix would have lost? But see, when Phoenix wins, then you're like, oh, okay, well, we know what happened. Uh, LeBron wasn't 100%, AD wasn't out there, and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? They still had to go out there. They still had to play, and they still had to get it done. You know, and everybody just they rush to that emotional side of things, and they're like, oh, okay, well, such and such was hurt. He wasn't able to get it done. And they'll use that in an argument, and that to me, man, it just really doesn't make any sense. You have to place yourself in that situation yourself. Put yourself in that uniform, in them shoes, in that situation. But a lot of y'all don't do that. You're always looking out, looking at it from the outside looking in. No, I look at it from I take certain situations into account. We got to take personnel. We got to take coaching. Some of these guys don't even mesh well with the philosophies that's given. That was one of the things that they came out in the report with James Harden is that the philosophy, I guess, of Steve Nash. James Harden wants to continue to do his thing and you know bounce the ball and all this other stuff or whatever. But you got to realize, man, you'll be better if you use your team, and that's what everybody else is doing. That's what everybody else is doing. That's why they winning. So I appreciate y'all listening though. Like the video, share it, subscribe, hit the notification. Um, Polo Sports Talking Entertainment, man. I'll be back later.